Good morning, Rosie. Well, he's hoping to help the Lib Dems out. They launched their EU election campaign last night with a very simple slogan: bollocks to Brexit. They are very much pitching themselves as the antithesis to Nigel Farage. They are a Remain party. So they're going to come here to leafy North London. It's a pretty affluent neighbourhood. And they're going to do some door knocking. They're going to do some campaigning. And Mr. Verhofstadt has said that he wants to take his mission to London to show that there is a quiet voice which is pro-European that must be heard. He says that politicians are wasting time with this Article 50 extension, and a coalition of people like Steve Bannon, Nigel Farage and Matteo Salvini are uniting across Europe to try and undermine the EU. So he thinks it's right to come here, and he says his fear is that these nationalists and populists across Europe are using the Brexit distraction, a catfight in the Tory party that got out of control, to further undermine the EU. So very much engaging with British politics here, and he's hoping that he can help the Lib Dems, because that vote taking place in 2 weeks' time will in effect be another mini referendum on where we are in this Brexit process. But it hasn't gone down too well with some. This is the Sun newspaper, Britain's biggest selling newspaper. They have run a big piece calling him a curtain-haired slimeball, and is the most repugnant figure in Brussels, they say. He is worse than drunken Juncker and peacocking Barnier, and he is a blabbermouth of arrogance. So pretty damning verdict here. I think there'll be some tough questions being put to him. Possibly we might get some people from the Leave side turning up as he's going around here to try and talk to him about why exactly he's come here today.
He has come, and you'll be following that for us today. But some other politicians are saying, well, maybe actually we should have got involved in the UK campaigning scene. What kind of regret are they expressing?
Yeah, that's right. In the past week, Jean-Claude Juncker, who of course finishes his term later this year, has said that of his regrets during the past 5 years, the biggest one was listening to David Cameron, the former Prime Minister of Britain, who told him to stay out of the EU referendum back in 2016, to not get involved, to not campaign domestically. And he did, in fact, heed the Prime Minister's words, but he thinks that was a mistake, because he said many of the lies that were put out about the EU at that time were not being debunked properly, and David Cameron didn't recognise this and allow him and others, and part of the others like Guy Verhofstadt and Donald Tusk, to come over here and campaign. Now, David Cameron is still adamant that that wasn't the right thing, but obviously those in the EU think that that was now a mistake. And so Guy Verhofstadt coming here today, it'll be a bit of a test whether that kind of campaigning, people coming over from Brussels, actually goes down well with the British public.